All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight, right here on Starcom Radio Network and our growing list of affiliates right around the world. We're also available on Radio Vision, Digital Satellite Network, Digital Broadcast Network, XZBN, CNN Broadcast Network, and the list goes on and on and on, because you, the members of the worldwide X Zone Nation, have made us this show that more and more people want to listen to. Now, if you'd like to give us a call anytime throughout the show, toll free worldwide at 1-800-610-7035. That's 1-800-610-7035. And all you do when you get to the number, the extension is 0. So when you hear the answering system kick in, just hit 0. It'll ring you right here into the studio. Now, my guest this hour here in the X Zone is a lady I've had the pleasure of knowing for many years. She's a good friend of the X Zone Nation. She is to Hypnosis what David Letterman was to late-night TV. And I'm talking about my good friend, Dr. Georgina Cannon. And Georgina, welcome back to the X Zone. How are you, dear friend?
I'm just splendid, thank you. Don't ask me about fracking. I won't be able to be as funny as he is, but I can be as passionate about it.
Yeah, that is something that maybe we can talk about later on this hour. But you know what? You're going to be at the Alien Cosmic Expo in Brantford on June 26, 27, and 28. And you're going to be one of the speakers. People are going to have the pleasure of meeting you, asking you about your many books that you've written. But tonight, as at the expo, I'd like to talk to you about past life and interlife journeys. And I'd just like to say at this time, I'd like to welcome to the worldwide audience of the X Zone, the worldwide family of Starcom Radio Network. By the way, if you're looking for a super show 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each and every day, Monday through Friday, my good buddy Ed Till is on Starcom, and why not? He owns the show. He owns the network. So check him out Monday through Friday from 9 until 5 on Starcom. That's the Ed Till Show. All right, let's go a little bit backwards, because I believe, Georgina, that in order to understand the present, we have to better understand the past. And I was wondering if you could tell us the history of hypnosis.
Oh, wow. The history of hypnosis goes back since the beginning of time. Anytime you go into a trance of any type, whether it be through music or through dance or through the rhythm of drums, you're going into an alternate state. And that alternate state accesses the subconscious mind, and that's where change can happen. So shamans have been using different forms of hypnosis for as long as we recognize from different aboriginal groups. But modern hypnosis, as we know it, really came to the fore in the First World War, when they used it to help people overcome what we know today as post-traumatic stress. They also used it sometimes when they didn't have anesthetic, and they put someone into a deep trance and they did surgery on them. I wouldn't recommend it totally to cut someone's leg off, but there are people who still use it, and I absolutely train people to use self-hypnosis sometimes for going to the dentist for minor surgery, because it reduces the amount of pain, no question.
Well, you know, I was telling Ed Till, the owner of and chairman of the Starcom Radio Network, I was on his show last week, and I was telling him about the time Laura was going in for a procedure, and she was really nervous, and you were able to help her with hypnosis to cope with the stress of that procedure.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do that a lot. People when going for surgery, for instance, one of the things we do is they come in to see me, and not only do I help them release the fear, but also encourage them to understand that the body, the healing aspects of your own body can work in harmony, in cooperation with the doctors that are working. So you're part of the team for healing and change. And that makes a huge difference, because they don't go in as enemies. They go in subconsciously as part of the team.
Would you say?
Make sense?
Yeah, it does. But would you say that hypnosis is a testimony to mind over matter?
Yes, in some ways.
Okay.
But it's not the mind as we know it. It's the emotional part of us, because it's the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind controls all of the automatic systems in the body, the automatic nervous system, the part of the body that when we breathe,
right.
The heartbeat, the pulse rate, all of that is done through the subconscious mind, as are all of the emotions. So when we talk about the mind, we really think of the conscious mind. We think of the thinking part. So you can certainly accomplish some things through willpower, but you can accomplish much, much more if you go in through the subconscious mind.
What is the number one reason why people would come to you, Georgina? What kind of help can you give them?
Everything from feeling victimized by life. They're in a pattern of being a victim. Either they keep losing jobs or keep losing relationships, or they can't seem to feel happy. So it's anything that's a pattern. They come in. The other, I get a lot of people for stress. I get a lot of lawyers who come in for stress management. And also because my background is corporate, I get a lot of people coming in who want coaching, as well as feeling better about themselves. But because you'd be surprised how many people go up the corporate ladder and go up because they're smart, but they don't feel or recognize they're smart. They think it's luck. So they have to sort of grow to fit themselves. They have to grow to feel comfortable in their new skin. And they come in for that. I don't know what you'd call that. It's really self-esteem. But they don't have low self-esteem. It's just that they can't catch up with where they've been promoted to.
Wow.
Yeah. And that includes fear, like fear of public speaking or fear of flying. The new job, the new position encourages them to do a lot of public speaking, and they're terrified. Then that's another reason to come in.
How do you deal with skepticism? Because I'm sure that not everyone is as open-minded as those who have the ability or have the courage to come to you and say, I've tried a lot of things. Can you help me? How do you deal with the naysayers?
I usually tell them that it's one more healing tool, and it's really self-induced. I just guide, and it's up to you.
Right.
You can come out of hypnosis anytime you like. You're in total control. And I get rid of a lot of the myths about me taking over their mind and about how they really are in control and they can bring themselves out of hypnosis at any time they wish, or not go in if they don't want to go in. It's totally theirs. And I explain to them it's a co-creation. I just lead them into a state where we can make change if they want. So they're totally in control. And if they're really skeptical, it's usually the skepticism is about past lives or regression work more than it is about the actual process of hypnosis.
So are you saying that if a person has the desire, does that mean if they believe in the process of hypnotism, it will work? If they're skepticals, if they go in with a closed mind, it's not going to work?
No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if they go in and they really don't want to change, then they won't.
Ah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if they come, and I don't do smoking cessation. I have a colleague who does that, but I don't do that. But if they come in and they say, my doctor sent me for smoking cessation, and my wife wants me to quit. I said, well, do you want to quit? And if they say no, then nothing's going to happen. Doesn't matter how deeply in hypnosis they go.
Really?
Because you're in control of your own mind.
Exonation.
I mean, if you weren't in control of your mind, imagine what hypnotists could get away with. I mean,
Sure.
I could get Johnny Depp to come live with me. I could get your bank account number. I could get...
Oh, wait a sec. Hold on here. I can understand Johnny Depp.
Right.
Do yourself a favor.
Get somebody else's bank account.
Exactly. In fact, whenever I see Bob Cowan at CHTV, our standard joke is,
right.
are you clucking like a chicken yet? Because of the time you were on the CH Morning Live.
Right.
Exonation, my guest this hour is the one and only Dr. Georgina Cannon. Her website is georginacannon.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone on Starcom Radio Network, www.starcomradionetwork.com. What was it in your life, Georgina, that made you want to become the guru of hypnosis that you are today?
I don't know that I ever wanted to become a guru, and I don't think of myself as a guru. But I literally left the corporate world because I got tired of it. I got tired of the game playing and the, I won't say lies, but they're not quite telling the truth, and the political aspect of it. And I looked around for something to do where I could add real value. And I took different courses, studied some psychology, took courses in sound therapy, color therapy, even considered massage therapy, but I knew I didn't really want to do that. Reiki, I got a Reiki master, and then happened upon hypnosis and got very excited because I recognized that it's not me doing it, it's the person themselves doing it. So what it does, it empowers the person. Once they understand they can do it themselves, then they're empowered. So that's where real change happens. That's what got me excited. So I literally downsized everything in my life. Sold my house, my expensive car, all of that good stuff that you get with the corporate world, and entered the world of helping others, of what I say is helping people find their magnificence, helping people really come to feel comfortable in their skin and be the best they can be. And I just shine the light, and they find their way. That's my job. I'm like an usher in the theater. I help you find your seat. I help you find your way.
It must be very wonderful for you to see the changes, the positive changes that you make in so many lives each and every day. When last you and I talked, you were going in teaching, I believe, the medical doctors and the medical community how to use hypnosis in conjunction with the established medical profession. How are they accepting hypnosis? Are they accepting it more? Is the medical community better understanding it?
Oh, totally. Yes. Well, I say totally, but let me put it this way, mostly. I get a lot of referrals from psychologists and psychiatrists now. I never used to when I started 20 years ago, but now I am getting referrals and because they understand this is something that can make a difference. So they may work with a client or what they call a patient, and that patient may be stuck at the age 5 or have something that needs to be loosened up in regression of some sort. And then I do that piece of 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, and then they go back to their original therapist. So yes, I work in harmony with them. I don't know if you know this, but I'm also teaching at the University of Toronto. All
right, let's talk about that when we come back from this commercial break. Exonation, Georgina Cannon is my very special guest. GeorginaCannon.com is her website. And this is the X-Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here on the Starcom Radio Network. Don't go away now.
Cosmic Expo will be held in Brantford, Ontario, June 26, 27, 28, and will feature 24 internationally acclaimed experts and researchers of UFOs, crop circles, alien abductions, and much more in this 3-day 2015 summer Canadian event. Experts in the field of extraterrestrials and alien encounters, out-of-body experiences, past life regression, soul reading, psychic,
Little
and
children
mediumship
aren't the
will all
only
be presented with professionalism, integrity.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone Radio Show on the Starcom Radio Network. If you'd like to send us an email, I'd love to hear your comments. X-Zone at xzoneradiotv.com. You can also call in if you have a question for our special guest this hour, the one and only Dr. Georgina Cannon. Toll free worldwide, 800-610-705. That's 7035, I'm sorry. And then just hit 0 when you get onto the line, and it'll bring you right here to our broadcast center. As I was saying earlier today, we're now on Starcom Radio Network. Love being here. Had the opportunity of speaking to Ed Till, the head cheese over here on his show. He has a great show Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5. Check it out at www.starcomradionetwork.com. Georgina Cannon is my guest, guru to the hypnotists of the world. She is the guru. She is the all-knowing. In fact, I'm sure somewhere in India, in Tibet, there is a special place for her to sit whenever she gets over there with the Maharishis and all the other gurus, because this lady knows what hypnotism is all about. She's the real McCoy, and I know that she is for a fact. Because a couple of years ago, my wife was going to the hospital for a procedure. She was scared. Both my wife and I think that Georgina Cannon is one of the greatest people in the world. She is such a sweetheart. That Laura called up Georgina, and Georgina was actually able to help her through the procedure. And Georgina, I will never stop telling the world what a great lady you are for that.
Oh, bless your heart. It's a co-creation. If Laura hadn't been prepared to let go, make change, it would never have happened. I mean, really, it is a co-creation.
But, this, I guess, is a perfect example of how what you do with hypnosis is now working hand in hand with the established medical profession.
Yes, yes. And the wonderful thing is, because I've been teaching it for so long, there are some superb people now out there in the community, and some of which are going to be at the conference that you're going to be at, which is fun, and also the Canadian Hypnosis Conference later on in the year. So the opportunity to spread the word and spread the light and the capability of performing this protocol is amazing. What it does is it helps people understand how powerful they are. For instance, when I have a young man coming into the clinic and his parents have sent him in because he's got anger management issues, I show him how, with his mind, he can numb his hand. So much so that when I pinch it with my nails and leave a mark, he doesn't feel it. And he's got his eyes open. And he's so blown away by that he understands that he doesn't need to be angry. He can find another way. He understands that he has power with his mind. It's very potent. And it's only when people really get that part that they are capable of almost anything within their own mind and to manifest into this life, then they understand it's truly empowering. But it takes focus, and of course that's part of it.
You know, I remember a time whenever anyone would talk about hypnotism, the name that came to mind was the Great Ravine, a great stage hypnotist.
Yes.
And are people still looking at hypnotism sometimes as the entertainment?
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Oh, sure. Part of our job, yours and mine, is to explain that it's fun, it's entertainment, it's not clinical hypnosis. And to remind people also that when they go up on stage, they're all volunteering. So they're going up to have some fun.
Oh, I see.
So whatever happens up there, they're going up with the knowledge that they're going to be having fun. They've already given permission by just going up there.
So tell me, what is the what are the inner workings when you talk to the professionals, the doctors, and what was it that you have done or other people within your profession have done to make the medical community turn around and take a different look at hypnotism as well as hypnotherapy?
Part of it is results. Part of it is their patients going to them and say, you know, I went for weight loss, or I went for smoking, or I went for stress management because my brother-in-law or sister-in-law or a friend at work suggested I go, and it works. Part of that is the groundswell. It's the groundswell, you know, and they're beginning to realize, like the medical profession is also beginning to realize, that many other alternative methods work. You know, they're now recommending, and some of them are learning acupuncture, for instance. Some of them are recommending and learning and understanding about Reiki and allowing it in hospitals. Hospitals are now allowing hypnosis to go in there.
Right.
Now, I'm not so sure they'd be happy with past life or into life, but they certainly do allow, and in some hospitals in the States, have a hypnotist on staff.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are seeing the difference. It's taken a while, as with anything. It takes a while, and it doesn't work for everybody. You know, not even aspirin works for everybody.
Well, that's
so I think
true,
we need to be realistic.
Let me ask you this: the battle of the sexes. Are men more susceptible to hypnosis, or women?
Makes no difference.
Really?
Really makes no difference. You know, people will come in and say, you know, I'm a lawyer and I'm an accountant and I've got a very strong mind. I don't think you'll be able to hypnotize me. And I say, fine. And you're probably right, because you're going to do the hypnosis. I'm just going to suggest you do this and this and this, and you choose whether you want to or not. I want to understand that I have no vested interest in having them go into hypnosis. I just have a vested interest in them achieving their goal that they came for, whatever that is. And the tool I use is hypnosis. Then they choose to go, and they realize it's they're in control.
So at all
it makes no difference.
So at all times, the person going under hypnosis is in control. Can they stop the session at any time they want?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was one of my favorite stories is when I was doing that series for CBC.
Yeah.
One of the young men went into a past life as a member of the Peace Corps, and he was in Africa, and as part of the Peace Corps, and in the middle of working with the people, he was doing something to do with the soil of farmers, and he said, Georgina, I have to go to the washroom. So I said, fine, okay, I'm going to count to 5, open your eyes, stay in hypnosis, remember where you are, go to the washroom, wash your hands, come on back, close your eyes, and return to where you are. Nod your head if you understand. He nodded his head, and off he went. You're in total control. You know what it's like? It's like being in the movies, where you're watching a movie, and you know someone's eating popcorn next to you or talking behind you, but you're so caught up in the movie that you jump if the gun goes off, or you cry if something sad is happening. And if you need to go to the washroom, you know that. You go to the washroom and you come back. But you still get caught up in the movie. It's very much like that.
So you can actually stop a session, let the person go to the washroom, and bring them back and continue?
Yeah, indeed.
Wow.
Indeed.
So where do we get this idea that a person has to watch a watch go tick, 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 tick in front of them?
It's anything you focus on. It's like meditation. People focus on a candle, or they focus on a spot on the wall, or you focus on your hand in front of you. It's only focus.
That's it?
It's focus, internal focus. And it's the same as meditation, by the way, the same brain waves as meditation. The only difference is that with meditation you're going inwards, and with hypnosis it's usually to achieve a goal of some sort.
All right, so if somebody is smoking, they come to you for a smoking disorder or an eating disorder or a stress disorder or whatever, are you just basically reinforcing their ability to stop whatever their problem is?
It's very different. So if they come to me, first of all, for smoking, I refer them to a colleague because I don't like working with smoking people, and I have a choice. If they're coming to me for an eating disorder, I make sure that they're in counseling for eating disorders because I'm not trained for that, but I certainly work with eating disorder clinicians. And what we do is we allow them to go into hypnosis. I facilitate them into hypnosis, and then we regress back to the time they made the decision that the body didn't need food, if that's what they're doing, if they're anorexic, or whatever the phrase that they use, because I talk to them a lot before we do the hypnosis. So when did you stop eating, or when did you decide you didn't want to stop eating, or when did you feel you were too fat, or whatever their language is what I use. So we use that to regress them back to the point of entry of that decision, that limiting decision.
Right.
And sometimes it's a past life. Sometimes it's something that happened in the womb. Maybe their mother thought that she was getting too fat and cut back on what she was eating. And sometimes it's when they were young and they couldn't get their own way, and the only way they could get their own way was by not eating. We know a lot of kids, when they're very young, just won't eat, like 2 or 3, they refuse to eat. And sometimes it gets stuck there emotionally. So we go back to that point of entry of that decision, and we change it. Looking at today, from this point of view as an adult, when you can make different decisions about the well-being in your life, what would you like to do differently? How can you make this different? And they come up with the solution. We then install that solution. We don't do any healing around it, any additional work that we need to do, and then bring them forward again with that new decision. It's really so simple that it's almost ridiculous.
So what, in your opinion, has been the great holdback that more and more people are not becoming hypnotists, and that society is not opening up its arms and saying, my gosh, work with the medical professionals, because as a team, hypnosis and the medical profession, it seems that, the sky is the limit.
It is. The sky is the limit. But that's the same with any established protocol. The medical profession is no different than the legal profession, for instance. They're very slow to change. But it's happening more and more, there's no question. It's happening with alternative medicine. For instance, there are hospitals in Canada, in Vancouver, that have opened a wing for alternative medicine or complementary medicine, naturopathy, homeopathy, Reiki, acupuncture, that sort of thing. So it's going to slowly change. And as I say, I'm getting a lot of referrals from the medical profession. Nurses started the referral, interestingly enough. And I have a colleague who does hypnosis for birthing, and she gets a load of referrals from nurses.
Really?
Yeah. So nurses are maybe on the leading edge of change of the medical profession. And it is happening more and more.
Where do people, or where does the concept come from that when people are regressed into their past lives? I've heard so many people say, I was Cleopatra, I was I was Nero, I was Jesus, I was they're always claiming to be somebody great and famous. The people who brag, I should say, about being regressed backwards. In your opinion, is this just a person's ego that's talking?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is there an explanation on why people sometimes believe that they were somebody great in history in a past life?
Well, in the 20 years that I've been doing this, and the thousands and thousands of people that I've regressed, I've had one person that was famous. And it was interesting that they didn't even know who that person was when they came out of hypnosis. But I've had other people come in who've said just that. I was Cleopatra. I was an important part of Jesus' tribe. It's what we call modeling. I think they admire that person at some level and believe because they admire them that they have those attributes. But when they actually do regress, when they go into a past life, they usually live very ordinary lives like most of us. But it's the wisdom in that life that matters, not what you are or who you are, but the wisdom you gain from that, the understanding about this life, because this life is the most important life. So anything we do and everything we do is about making this life richer, fuller, more healthy, and more vibrant. And past life regression and interlife regression, just tools to do that. So who you were and what clothes you wear are purely incidental, in my point of view.
All right, here's the question I love asking you, and because we're now on the Starcom Radio Network, I would love you to answer this infamous question from me. Have you ever regressed anyone who claims to have been an extraterrestrial in a past life?
Yes, I have. I have, and it depends on what you mean by extraterrestrial. I have regressed people who've lived on other planets in that lifetime. For instance, the person that took over the business that I had, yes, Ontario Hypnosis Center, the person that's now running it, when I first met him, he was a friend of a buddy of mine, and he was studying biochemistry or something at the University of Toronto, and he didn't believe in any of this. But when he came as a volunteer for my class, because I still teach past life regression, but that was back then, he immediately went into a lifetime where he was on a red planet in a laboratory with a lot of other scientists, and they were trying to prevent a group, an underground group, from using crystals to blow up the planet, who were using it for energy, but it's run away with itself. And I will tell you, when he came out of that session, he was so shaken, and it was disturbed him so badly because it went right against everything he believed, that it took him a couple of weeks to recover. And subsequently, of course, he came to work for me and then studied under me, and now he runs the clinic. So, yes, I have definitely had people who have lived on other planets, definitely had people who have been elements, energy, wind, had people who have, and this doesn't happen very often, but had people who've gone into and become the soul in an animal body. But that's not that unusual, because shamans do that too. They take on the form of animals to travel. So, for sure. Fascinating
topic. You and I have to...
Actually, your next... I don't want to interrupt you, but I think your next guest is deals with clients who have been abducted by aliens.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you and I have to take a commercial break. Please stand by, dear friend. X-Zone Nation. The one and only Dr. Georgina Cannon is our guest. For more information about Georgina, please visit her website. It is www.georginacannon.com. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, 1-800-610-7035, extension 0. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And, of course, we're available 7/24/365 at www.xzoneradiotv.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X-Zone with our people around the world from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Whatever you do, don't go away, because we'll be right back. My name is Rob McConnell, and I would like to tell you about a very special lady that I have the pleasure of knowing, and that's Miss Sylvia Anthony. Sylvia Anthony believes the golden years are a time to gear up and get busy, not relax and take it easy. She has faced many hardships in her 84 years, but they have made her stronger and more determined. As founder and president of Sylvia's Haven, a shelter for women and their children near Boston, Sylvia has helped transform over 1,086 lives in the past 27 years, not only with housing, but also providing direction as to where they can go to develop the earning skills they want and need to live free from difficult domestic situations. Sylvia's Haven is everything to Sylvia Anthony, even calling it her magnificent obsession. Women who qualify for the program at Sylvia's Haven receive assistance via guidance counselors to find the appropriate job opportunity. Women and their children may remain at the housing for up to 2 years. At the end of this time, or sooner, a woman who is successfully employed and has an apartment or home may leave Sylvia's Haven to begin a new and independent life. Now this is where you come in to help make Sylvia's dream into a reality. Sylvia's dream is to have a Sylvia's Haven in every state to help as many women and their children as she can, and to help this dream come true. A crowdfunding site has been established which can be accessed at www.sylviasdream.org. Now that's www.sylviasdream.org. With your financial help and support, Sylvia Anthony will continue to help those in their time of need, not only in the Boston area, but with her dream of having a Sylvia's Haven in every state of the United States. Your help is needed to make Sylvia's dream come true. Please visit and give at www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. And remember, the only difference between a dream and reality is just doing it. We need your help to make Sylvia's dream come true. Visit www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. For the X Zone Radio TV show and the X Chronicles newspaper, I am Rob McConnell.
The Alien Cosmic Expo will be held in Brantford, Ontario, June 26, 27, 28, and will feature 24 internationally acclaimed experts and researchers of UFOs, crop circles, alien abductions, and much more in this 3-day 2015 summer Canadian event. Experts in the field of extraterrestrials and alien encounters, out-of-body experiences, past life regression, soul reading, psychic, and mediumship will all be presented with professionalism, integrity, and credibility, making the Alien Cosmic Expo the largest event of its kind in Canada for 2015. The exhibitor hall will feature a spectacular lineup of gifted mediums, psychics, astrologers, channelers, aura photography, healers, as well as books, DVDs, alternative health products, crystals, jewelry, and much more, completing the venue with something for everyone. For all information and to purchase your tickets for the Alien Cosmic Expo, go to www.aliencosmicexpo.com. That's www.aliencosmicexpo.com.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you around the world now on Starcom Radio Network. If you'd like to give us a call, 1-800-610-7035. And once you get through the switchboard, just hit extension 0. Brings you right here to our broadcast studio. You can check us out 724-365 at www.xzoneradiotv.com. And on all social media sites, simple address, X Zone Radio TV. Dr. Georgina Cannon is my special guest this first hour of tonight's show. Her website is www.georginacannon.com. Georgina, where do you see hypnosis in the future being used as?
Just as another modality. So it would be like going to a naturopath or a medical doctor, and they will say to you, you know, you need to lose some weight. Instead of saying you need to lose some weight, here's and some doctors send you to a nutritionist.
Right.
They might say you need to lose some weight. Why don't you go to a nutritionist and a hypnotist, and here's some names that you can check out. Or you're suffering from anxiety, rather than put you on meds, why don't we send you to, why don't I write a prescription for you to go to a hypnotist, and you can learn to manage your anxiety attacks or your panic attacks, rather than go on medication, and if that doesn't work, we'll put you on medication. So I think it's going to become so normal that we won't even think twice about it. My wish would be that they taught children hypnosis in school, self-hypnosis, so they had self-esteem, and they would learn that they could use it for studying. They could learn it for, you know, to increase their memory retention and to focus. I'd love that.
Yeah. So tell me, are guidance counselors and people who work with children, are they better understanding that the child may have problems that are not associated with psychotherapeutic drugs, and that there are other ways to solve these so-called these problems, or is it the pill, the quick fix?
It's the pill that's the quick fix right now. Unfortunately, it hasn't reached that level yet, unless and it's not necessarily the person themselves, but they have to go through so much bureaucracy. Some schools, for instance, are now starting to teach children meditation. That's a beginning. And if they do that, then it's an easy move over to hypnosis and self-hypnosis. But just allowing that has been huge. I don't understand why, but it just is.
So if you've got these courses, these classes with people as well, with members of the New Age movement, for lack of better words, and the professionals within the medical community,
yes.
Are we seeing something fantastic happening? Are we bringing people of different mentalities together?
Yes, yes. In my class, for instance, at the UT, anybody can join. You don't have to be a social worker, although it's certainly for as part of the School of Social Work. I have social workers. I have engineers. I have one person who's an insurance salesperson. I have two women who've come in from New York, interestingly enough, to take the course, and one of them is returning to the work world after staying home with her child, and the other one's coming in as a friend, a buddy, and she's a stay-at-home mom. So a lot of people of different backgrounds are coming because they want to learn the power of their own mind and help other people. So it's a great way to start a new career as well, should you want to. And in addition, I teach NLP, as you know, neuro-linguistic programming. So I get a lot of salespeople coming in to learn it, because once you understand how people see their world, then you can help sell in their language, in their way. Because we will see our world in a different way, of course.
So are we actually saying that this is something like mind control, where you're using hypnosis to your advantage, disabling the person that you're trying to sell something to?
I wish.
That doesn't seem very ethical, Georgina.
I wish. No. It's all self-induced. It's just that, we're guides. If I teach you how to do hypnosis, you could help Laura, if she couldn't sleep, for instance, to get to sleep easier. And she could get you to stop snoring if you snore.
I don't snore.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey. See, it worked already.
You're good. You're good.
No, so anybody can learn it. Anybody, and you can't do it wrong because it's all self-allowed. You can't really harm anybody unless they want to be harmed, because you're in control.
So you're in control.
You're in control.
All right, let me ask you this. If we're in control, how is it that you, the hypnotist, are able to make us do things if we're in control? Do we give you permission to make these changes? Like, are we saying, all right, here's my computer, I'll give you access to it?
Well, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. What you're saying is, you're coming in, you're saying, I'm a procrastinator. I want to be able to get out of the rut. I'm stuck. I want to stop procrastinating and write my book, paint my pictures, redecorate my house. My house is a mess. I need to tidy it up. I haven't done my taxes. I'm a procrastinator. How do I get out of that? And so I say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to stop being a procrastinator? And it has to be more than 8. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So it has to be 8 out of 10. That's the minimum. Then we look and see what it is exactly you want to accomplish. And then we together write the program or write what we're going to replace that pattern with. And then you go into the alternate state and we really change your blueprint. Usually things like procrastination come from being a perfectionist. If it's not done, you grew up maybe in an environment that said if it's not done right, then don't do it at all.
Yeah.
So guess what? A part of you is saying don't do it at all. So we change the pattern. We change the language, the self-talk.
So you're changing this. You're changing the pattern. The person is giving you this permission to help them change their blueprint because they're too damn lazy to do it themselves?
No, because unless they've learned the process, the protocol of self-hypnosis, unless they understand the power of their own mind, it never occurs to them to do it.
Gotcha. So it's people helping people.
People helping people. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I can find my way in the theater if you give me enough time.
Sure.
But if someone shows me to my seat, it's easier.
Especially if they have the flashlight and you don't.
That's right.
What is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of my job is people who come in and say they want to change, and there's always a yes but. So I might say to them, so you say you want to leave your job, so what are you doing about, because I'm also a coach, what are you doing about looking for something else? Well, I really don't have the time. Okay. So when you get home from work, what do you do? Well, blah, 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 blah. So I said, well, why don't you do this at this time? Why don't we make a plan that you allow yourself 2 or 3 hours on this day, maybe Sunday mornings, and start looking for a job? Yes, but. It's always yes, but. So the yes, but people have a big resistance, and it's my job to help get through that in a way that feels comfortable for them, because change is fearful. We know where we are. We might not like where we are, but it's familiar. So if you're moving to something new, it's pretty scary. So I have to help them feel comfortable with that change, the potential for change, and what's going to happen when they do change. And that particularly happens with past lives and interlife journeys.
What is an interlife journey?
An interlife journey is the space between lifetimes. When you go to you go and see tombstones, and they say lived from 1840 to 1870, and in between those two dates there's a dash. Well, the dash in the interlife is the space between lifetimes. So if you've lived a life, say, as a sailor in one life, you lived a pretty good life, or you died young and you popped off, and before you come back, there's some space in between, the next life. And in that space, you go to your soul home. You go to a space where you meet your guides, where you meet your soul circle, where you go to the Akashic Records or the Book of Life. You go to a place where you can learn to manage your energy better. You go in front of the council, the wise elders, and you find out what your soul purpose is and why you chose to come into this life. You find out also sometimes what your soul name is, and you meet your guide or guides and your soul color. And not everybody does every part of it, but a lot of people do most of it. And when you come, it's awe-inspiring. People weep out of pure joy, because it's like going home.
Like going home?
It's like going to your spiritual home. You feel safe. You feel loved, unconditionally loved and safe.
How do we know that this is real, that this isn't an illusion that's being put forward, or a mind holograph that the mind is not generating, that this
Maybe
whole...
it is, but as long as it works, what difference what we call it?
Well,
even if it's a metaphor or a mind hologram, as long as we're getting that information and we're healing in some way or shape or form, because I certainly don't tell them where to go.
Right.
I just say, tell me where you are now, and then what happens, and then what happens. and they say things that they didn't even know existed in this life. For instance, I had a gentleman who went into an interlife, and I said to him, where are you? He said, I seem to be in water. I seem to be, it's hard to explain. He said, I'm sort of made of water, and yet I'm in water, and yet I can breathe, and I'm in a humanoid form. I said, well, what is your role there? What are you doing? And he said, well, I'm part of a group, and we come together to create new ways of using energy. And when we finished our job, we go back into being the liquid, and we only come out when we're needed. Now, there's no way that I could have made that up, or he made that up.
No.
So it came from somewhere. And from my point of view, I don't care where. He got what he needed, and part of what he needed was to learn to work in teams and had trust in the team, which was interesting. Well, there's no way I could have come up with that.
Sure.
It just wouldn't have.
How long does it actually take you to put somebody under?
Into hypnosis, sometimes if you've been there before, it can take as little as 30 seconds. Sometimes it can take as long as 10, 15 minutes. It depends. Most people take between a minute and 2 minutes. It doesn't take long. And certainly if you've been there before, because you know your way there. It's a bit like a horse going back to the stable. You know how to get there. So it's just a question of allowing yourself to relax and just focus on your breath, your heartbeat, your connection to the universe, your spirit, soul, whatever, my voice, and imagine you're feeling safe and you're in a safe place, and then just following what I ask you to do, which is usually go through a door to another time and place, and then I'm quiet and I just record what you say.
Has there ever been a time when someone that you have placed into hypnosis didn't want to come back?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because especially if this life is horrible and where they went was so pleasurable, then I've had to remind them that this life is temporary and they came here for a reason and they have a job to do. And if they don't come back, then they're not going to be able to do that job. So remember it's only temporary, and remember that you have choice in how you're going to live this life. And should you so choose, I can help you achieve that. So why don't you come on back and let's see what we can do. Yeah. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Are the results between children and adults different?
Yes, because it's easier with children. It's also easier with teens because there's so many blocks. Yeah. I love working with teens, by the way.
Really?
Children, absolutely. Up until about the age of 7, a lot of children remember their past lives and chat about, oh, you're not my real mother. My real mother, her name was this and that and the other, and we lived in this place. And they're very specific quite often. Yeah. Again, there's no way they could have made that up. Carol Bowman wrote a series of books on children in regression, past life regression. And she's recorded a lot about that.
So here we are. We're coming down to the end of yet another hour between two old friends. I still remember the time we met you in Toronto. We went to that little bistro and we had a nice time. We'll have to do that again.
Lovely. Let's say long-time friends, not old.
Oh, I didn't mean it in the age-wise, because you're 35.
We started when we were 7 years old.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
We're longtime friends. I like that
Yes.
better. All right.
Yes.
What would you like to leave the members of the X-Zone Nation with tonight about hypnosis, Georgina?
I'd like them to consider that they are so much more than they seem, so much more than they know they are. And once you really start to understand your own power and your own abilities deep within and not be fearful of them and just feel comfortable in your skin, anything is possible.
All right. So tell me a little bit more. Tell me about your courses.
Okay. My courses at the end of July, I believe it is. I don't have the dates in front of me. I'm teaching past life regression, 2-day course, and then a life between life course. But you need to have learned hypnosis or Reiki to take those. You need to understand the process of trance. And I'm teaching NLP in June, a 3-day course. I'm teaching neuro-linguistic programming. And they're all in central Toronto. And then at the Hypnosis Convention in October, I'm teaching Life Between Lives, how to do that. So and at the University of Toronto, I teach every month, Friday and Saturday. There's six units of basic hypnosis and advanced hypnosis. So for that, you have to register through the university.
And, of course, on June 26, 27, 28, you're going to be at the Alien Cosmic Expo in Brantford, Ontario. What is your speech going to be on? What are you going to be talking about to the
I'm going to
people?
be talking about regression, past life and interlife regression, the difference and the possibilities, and what happens and how it works and why it works, and how you can benefit from it.
Super.
Yeah.
Georgina, let our listeners know how they can contact you, dear.
Sure. You can contact me at georginacannon.com, or you can call my business line, which is 416-487-3966. Either way, I'll get back to you very quickly. We always return phone calls, and we always return emails very, very quickly.
Hey, Georgina, looking forward to seeing you again in Brantford on June 26, 27, 28.
Indeed.
Until
is Laura
then,
going to be with you?
I believe she's going to be coming for one of the days, yeah. But as you know, she's a very busy nurse.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Take care of yourself. Thank you so much for sharing your time. And
thank you.
Once again, great having you back on the show, X Zone Nation. Georgina Cannon has been my guest this hour. www.georginacannon.com. And if you'd like to send her an email, g.cannon@simpatico.ca. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com. Manifestation is driven by imagination, intent, and passion. In our culture, all three have been distorted and disabled by modern media and exploitation. Re-engage your imagination and your passion by entering into the world of paranormal romance. Kahir O'Donnell takes her readers on an exciting journey into the endless possibilities of loving, passionate, and mutually respectful male-female relationship. Her latest book, The Long Dark Night, features special ops adventure, a daring rescue, a psychic woman from the stars, and a special agent that will die to protect her. The Long Dark Night by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at kahiraodonnell.com or amazon.com.
The Alien Cosmic Expo will be held in Brantford, Ontario, June 26, 27, 28, and will feature 24 internationally acclaimed experts and researchers of UFOs, crop circles, alien abductions, and much more in this 3-day 2015 summer Canadian event. Experts in the field of extraterrestrials and alien encounters, out-of-body experiences, past life regression, soul reading, psychic, and mediumship will all be presented with professionalism, integrity, and credibility, making the Alien Cosmic Expo the largest event of its kind in Canada for 2015. The exhibitor hall will feature a spectacular lineup of gifted mediums, psychics, astrologers, channelers, aura photography, healers, as well as books, DVDs, alternative health products, crystals, jewelry, and much more, completing the venue with something for everyone. For all information and to purchase your tickets for the Alien Cosmic Expo, go to www.aliencosmicexpo.com. That's www.aliencosmicexpo.com.